Hello, Nia. Thank you for joining us on this call. This is the end of our coaching sessions. We've been through a number of hours together and working through various things on your career development and your studying development there. Before we go into the feedback questions and the debrief on the coaching, could you tell us a little bit about you for the record?
Yeah, so I'm Nia, I am 21 and I've just graduated from Oxford Brookes University doing geography, and I'm currently doing a master's at King's College, and yeah.
Excellent. Okay, what's your master's in?
My master's is in disasters adaptation and development.
Mm-hmm. And you're currently studying your master's and working at the same time, right?
Yeah, so I'm also working as a research assistant on a disaster project based at Edge Hill University. So working full-time there and then doing the master's as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So just for the record on this, the date is we're in November 2020, the year of COVID-19. And we started working together actually at the start of the summer, didn't we? Mm-hmm. So, and then we worked through, we had a bit of a gap in the summer, and then we came back and we've done some more sessions in the autumn, at the beginning of the autumn as well. So we've been through the coaching and we've kind of come to the end of our time working together. Out of interest, before we started working together, you hadn't had coaching before. What would have stopped you from taking? What were the potential blockers for you taking on the coaching?
Yeah, I think a big part of it probably is almost like judgment of like thinking I don't have my life together, and like everyone assuming that everyone should always have your life together. And I think the second I came to someone and like show them that I didn't, I was like admitting failure. And so that was kind of like a big barrier for me. It was almost like I had to get over that before even like accepting the opportunity to do coaching.
Yes.
And so almost like that hiding away from the judgment that I haven't got my life together. I've got no idea what I want to do for a job. I've got no idea where I'm going. What's this COVID thing? I can't get a job. And so I'm just like letting that go to then be able to accept the opportunity.
Just the vulnerability, I suppose, coming through with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And if it's any comfort, I haven't met a single person yet who's got their life entirely sorted out, whether they're 18 or 81, it doesn't matter. So I certainly don't claim to have my life entirely sorted out either. But these processes, I feel they can help. Great, so thank you for that. So that was the fear before starting, but what did you find as a result of going through the process, the coaching process?
I found that, I guess, a lot of the things that I thought about myself or about the situations that I'm in were like unresolvable, and I just had to like get on with them. They're just life. Actually like starting to learn some of the processes and the like almost like the theory behind what I'm thinking and feeling. It's not that I'm one of, I'm the only one that's ever gone through this, but actually like there is an actual thing that this is called, and these are some actual things that people have found that help. And then talking them through with you and actually being able to implement them just in a short amount of time, I've realized like how much more like productive and like useful I've been able to use my time with.
When we talk about the coaching, the process and the coaching partnership, because it is meant to be a partnership of equals working together towards a shared goal, we talk about the process, we talk about the psychology, we talk about the personality connection. Tying in with those things, the process, the psychology and the personality connection, where were the things that really helped you as part of this?
I think the main thing was that I didn't feel like it was me coming to you with all my problems and you were sitting there with your life sorted out, and actually like that like shared vulnerability of like, yeah, I struggle with that too, or like, yeah, that's really tricky, working from home is hard like that. And having that almost like relatability meant that I felt like I could almost get more out of the sessions, because I was sharing something and you were like, yeah, I feel that too, and then we were able to like work through it, and I'm like, oh well, this works for you, maybe I'll try that. Oh yeah, that actually worked for me as well. So that was really definitely useful. And then in terms of like the psychological side of stuff, I guess having that like external person to be able to give that extra like wisdom or like knowledge on
Mm.
what's going on was really useful, because sometimes you don't often see it when it's just in you, but you need someone else to like point it out in you, which is
Mm.
one of the big things that we were talking about throughout our sessions.
Sure. And in terms of maybe some of the models that we worked with, we worked through a lot of different models and discussed a lot of different ideas. Were there any particular ones that really stood out for you in how you approach things?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was like three main things that really stood out for me. The first one that we had looked at was like the circle of concern,
Mm-hmm.
and this whole kind of concept that, you know, if there's nothing I can do about it, then like to almost like let that worry go and just like accept that like there isn't much I can do about it. But the
Yeah.
things that I do have control over, then like I can do then something about it and work out what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Which almost like gave me the like power to do something about the things that I found myself in. And then the second one was the Johari's window,
Mm-hmm.
where it was about the things I know about myself, but other people don't know, and the things that other people know about me, but I don't know, the things
Yeah.
that we both know about me. But then this really interesting box of things that people know about me, but I don't even know about me.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the fact that like neither of us know
Mm.
about me. And just really interesting to see that actually there's so many layers of ourselves that we often need each other to pull out of in us, and it's not just, I can't just do it on my own and my own thinking.
No, yeah, questions from external enable us to kind of dig a bit deeper and actually understand ourselves further, or feedback from people who know us well, that see us from a different angle. Yeah, great. Okay, no, thank you for that. If there was one specific feature of this, of the coaching, working with me, and my style is different to other people's style, and that's important as part of this. I appreciate you've worked with me and you haven't worked with others, but if there was one specific feature of what we've done that's helped you the most, what would it be?
That's a really good question. I think for me, something that I found really useful was the almost like the, what did I say? Yeah, I think for me, it was the having the weekly tasks
Mm-hmm.
that I was then like, okay, we're really cool. And like, it was something that we had discussed together. It wasn't
Yeah.
like you just said them. It's like I had agreed to them.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like that, having to make sure that I've done them by the next week, or like coming to you being like, okay, I've done this, I haven't done this.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you not done that? Well, I haven't done this until this, and this.
Yeah.
And also that accountability to, okay, he set me these tasks. It's not because he has to, but it's because you want the best for me, and like we want to get the most out of it. And so just, my biggest one was like making myself a daily routine that I had to stick to, and just even the next week being like, did you stick to it? Did you make a routine? And being like, actually, yeah, I did. Like, it was really useful. And it was like, I wasn't just doing it for you, but doing it for me. But the fact that I was doing it for you made it like accountable, and then made me more productive. So
yeah. Well, I think that particular task was one you set for yourself. It wasn't one I set for you.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's really important, because that's a sense of ownership and saying, here are the things I'm struggling with. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. And that's a key part of the coaching thing, is that actually the solutions come within you, that it's not some great wisdom coming and telling you how to fix it or move things forward. That's not what it is. It's about you doing it for yourself. And then, as you say, the accountability and holding you to account and saying, so have you done
Yeah,
it can help us. And I'm the same. Absolutely. It helps me to be accountable to people as well. No, that's good. Sorry, was there anything else you wanted to add on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, no, great. If you were going to recommend this to other people, and I'm hoping you do, but please say no if you don't. If you were going to, what would you tell them about it? Why would you tell them to do it?
Wow, yeah. I would definitely recommend it. I'd recommend it to everyone. I even recommended it to my mum. And but I think the main thing I realized was that coaching enables you to like recognize your past and the fact that it does influence your present, but it doesn't have to like determine your future. And this whole thing's like, I don't have to have everything like pulling me down or whatever, but actually like utilizing the place that I'm in at the moment, talking it through logistically, but also like with everything else that's going on and the context, and just really being able to like encourage, like for me to encourage myself that like I am on track and that like I am doing okay, and to And I think for other people to be able to get that, especially in like the uncertain times that we're in, to know that like, you know, it's not the end of the world if this isn't in place.
Yeah.
But it's like those small rewards, those small like encouragements that we can do, and the little victories, I guess. It's been really useful to be able to like understand.
Oh, thank you. And if you were going to, say in 3 statements or 3 words or 3 bullet points or something like that, for somebody, the benefits of going through this, of doing this coaching, what would you put there? I know I'm putting you on the spot with that, but what would you,
I think the first one would be like, you'll learn a lot more about yourself. The second would be, you'll learn to view your negatives not as negatives but as strengths that you can utilize. And the third one, I think probably about like not just accepting the place that you're in, but knowing that you have control to do something about it. And not just being, you know, stuck in a rut, but being equipped to know that you can do something about it, but not having someone else do it for you. I think that's really valuable.
Okay. And tied to that question, how has this coaching helped you to move forward?
So I think for me, one of the biggest things that this coaching has shown me is that actually, like, it's not just about the hours that I do for work or whatever, but like how productive I am in those times. And that's not about setting a timetable, but actually like understanding me, how I work best, whether I work best in an office or whether I work best after a run or before a run, or the things in place, and just knowing that actually like understanding me better will help me be better.
Cool. No, thank you. And is that, when you're saying being better, is that in terms of productivity or not specifically in terms of productivity?
Yeah, probably productivity. I've mainly productivity, but that's just like for me. But also in terms of like how I'm feeling, almost like me being my fullest Nia, I guess.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. No, that's cool. Thank you. And last question here, is there anything else you would like to add about the coaching process, or things I haven't covered in these questions? Debrief. This is to help other people who are wondering, should I get coaching? Should I work with Chris? Should I do things like this? This is for them to go, oh, that's interesting, in the insight. So anything else you'd like to add on this point?
I think just like it can sometimes be scary when you've never met this person before and all of a sudden you're trying to open up about your life or whatever, but actually like how easy I found it, because I've always been quite like shut off to talking about me and my things to strangers, but actually like from the get-go, I don't feel like you were a stranger, and I like shared more things with you than like I've sometimes shared with like friends or family. And so actually that's a real encouragement of how comfortable I felt being able to like share, and so then was able to get the most out of it. And that definitely comes through like the relationship that you can form, even though it's over Zoom.
Sadly, during COVID, it's over Zoom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also a point for other people watching this as well. There is a confidentiality agreement that we enter into at the very beginning of this. So things you've told me are absolutely kept confidential. I don't tell other people on that. Thank you. And I said that was the last question, but actually I've got one last one on this, which is, if you could define coaching for you, because some people struggle with the idea of definition of coaching, and it does mean different things slightly to different people. So if you could define it for you, and maybe that would help other people.
Wow. I say coaching is for me. I think coaching for me is a space where you can find out things about me, but for me to be able to find them out about myself. For me to be able to grow in myself, but like having you as a person that can help facilitate that.
Mhm.
Being someone that's kind of been there before, but also like through life for yourself, but you haven't like done it with me, but you haven't been through the exact same things, but you have life experience, and that's all you kind of need.
Okay. No, well, thank you very much. Excellent. That is the official end of those questions. I added more in during that process, but actually just to feed off what you were saying, because it was really interesting. Thank you so much for working with me and for trusting me as part of this process. And we'll go offline and debrief in just a second off record. But thank you very, very much for this feedback and this insight, and also for really entering into the process of the coaching.
Thank you too. It's been really good.
Great.